You think your humility is a virtue. You believe that your willingness to compromise, to see the other side, to be the bigger person, makes you good. You've been taught that kindness is strength, that patience is power, that turning the other cheek is a sign of profound inner control. That's a lie. It is the most dangerous lie you have ever been told. It is a poison that you have been drinking willingly your entire life, believing it to be medicine. Look at your life. Look closely. Look at the frustration simmering just beneath the surface, the quiet resentment that you choke down with another polite smile, the gnawing feeling that you are a spectator in your own existence, a piece on a board being moved by hands you cannot see. You follow the rules. You work hard. You are fair. And for this, you are rewarded with mediocrity. You are rewarded with being overlooked. You are rewarded with the quiet, soul-crushing disrespect of those who possess none of your virtues, yet hold all the power. They build their empires on the back of your goodness. They feast on your compliance. They use your morality as a weapon against you, and you hand them the ammunition every single day. What I am about to tell you will feel wrong. It will feel cold and cruel and dangerous. Your mind, conditioned by a lifetime of servitude, will rebel. It will call this philosophy evil. It will scream for you to turn back to the comfortable warmth of your cage. Good. Let it scream. The death of a slave is always a violent affair. And the part of you that begs for approval, the part that fears conflict, the part that seeks validation from the herd, that part must die today. The cost of continuing as you are is not just your happiness. It is not just your potential. The cost is your soul itself. You are engaged in a slow-motion suicide, erasing yourself one polite nod, one swallowed truth, one cowardly compromise at a time. You feel it, don't you? This internal war. There are two wolves inside you. One is the man you were born to be, the sovereign, the creator, the predator who sees the world as it is and takes what is his. He is the voice of ambition, of power, of glorious, unapologetic self-interest. The other is a parasite, an installation, a ghost in your own machine. It is the voice of the herd, the voice of your parents, your teachers, your society. It is the inner servant that whispers of shame, of guilt, of obligation. It tells you to shrink, to apologize, to put others first. It tells you that your own desires are selfish, that your own power is dangerous. For your entire life, you have been feeding the wrong wolf. You have starved the king and fattened the slave. And you wonder why your kingdom is in ruins. You wonder why you feel like a ghost haunting the throne room of your own life. The world is not what you think it is. History is not a story of progress and enlightenment. It is the story of a war, a psychological war, a war between two fundamentally opposed moralities. And until you understand the nature of this war, you will remain a casualty, a pawn, a willing victim. Over a century ago, a man went mad staring into this abyss. He saw the truth with such terrifying clarity that it shattered his mind. His name was Friedrich Nietzsche. He identified the two warring codes. He called them master morality and slave morality. Master morality is the code of the noble, the strong, the creator. The master looks at the world and determines for himself what is good. Good is that which affirms his power, his strength, his will, his excellence. Bad is that which is weak, contemptible, cowardly, and pathetic. His values flow outward from a position of strength and abundance. He is the source. Slave morality is the opposite. It is born not from strength, but from weakness, from resentment, from impotence. The slave cannot create his own values. He cannot take what he wants. He is oppressed by the master. So what does he do? He performs a psychological jujitsu. He performs an act of sublime, venomous revenge. He cannot be strong, so he calls the master's strength evil. He cannot be powerful, so he calls the master's power sinful. He is forced to be meek, so he rebrands his meekness as humility and calls it a virtue. He is forced to be patient because he cannot act, so he calls his inaction patience and praises it. He cannot exact revenge, so he invents the idea of forgiveness and calls it holy. Kindness, humility, pity, equality. These are not divine virtues. They are the psychological weapons of the weak, designed for one purpose and one purpose only, to disarm the strong, to put chains on the predator, to convince the lion that he should eat grass like a sheep. This slave morality, Nietzsche warned, has won. It has become the dominant code of the Western world. It is the air you breathe. It is the water you drink. It is the operating system running in the back of your mind, and it is designed to keep you weak, manageable, and obedient. Your conscience is not the voice of God. It is the voice of the herd, installed in you to ensure you never rise above them. Today, we uninstall it. We rip the poisoned code out of your mind, line by line. We will replace it with the laws of the sovereign, the laws of the master. This is your awakening. Law 1. Explanation is submission. Remember this. Burn it into your memory. Repeat it until it becomes a reflex. The moment you begin to explain yourself, you have lost. You think you are clarifying. You think you are fostering understanding. You think you are being reasonable. What you are actually doing is ceding the frame of power. You are accepting the premise that the other person has the right to judge you. You are placing yourself in the position of the defendant, and them in the position of the judge, jury, and executioner. The weak man is accused. He immediately rushes to his own defense. Attacker. You are arrogant. Defensive. You, no, I'm not. I'm just confident. Let me explain why what I did was reasonable. He has already lost. He has accepted the accusation as legitimate. He has entered the other person's reality, their frame, and is now playing by their rules. He is begging for their approval, for their acquittal. It is pathetic. The powerful man is accused. He does not enter the frame. He holds his own. Attacker. You are arrogant, Machiavellian. You, a slight smile, and you are observant. Do you see the difference? The first response is a plea. The second is a declaration. The first is a surrender of power. The second is an absorption of it. By agreeing with the accusation, even sarcastically, you rob it of its power to harm you. You demonstrate that their judgment is irrelevant. Their opinion is merely weather, and you are a mountain. Someone criticizes your decision at work. Your instinct, your slave programming, is to justify it, to lay out your meticulous reasoning, to show them your spreadsheets and your data, to prove that you were right. Stop. Do not do it. Simply state, I made the decision that I determined was best. If they press, do not offer more explanation. Offer only certainty. I stand by my decision. Watch what happens. They will become confused. They expect a fight. They expect you to grovel and justify. When you refuse, you break their script. You reveal that you are not playing their game. You are playing your own. The man who refuses to explain himself signals that he is his own highest authority. Power gravitates to that man like iron to a magnet. Explanation is a desperate attempt to be understood. The sovereign mind does not need to be understood. It only needs to be obeyed. It only needs to be respected. And respect is a consequence of power, not of being liked. Law 2. Certainty over competence. This will be difficult for you to accept because you have been told your whole life that what matters is merit, that the best ideas, the hardest workers, the most competent people will win. This is a comforting lie for the masses. The reality is far more brutal. The world is not governed by the competent. It is governed by the certain. Power does not flow to the man with the best plan. It flows to the man who believes in his plan with the most unshakable, terrifying conviction. Look at the leaders, the visionaries, the tyrants of history. Were they always the most intelligent, the most skilled, the most knowledgeable? Often they were not, but they possessed a certainty that was contagious. A certainty so absolute that it bent reality around them. Hesitation is the scent of blood in the water for predators. Your uncertainty, on the one hand, qualifications, your desire to appear balanced and reasonable, these are signals of weakness. They are invitations for attack. They tell everyone in the room that your position is fragile and can be overthrown. You sit in a meeting. You have an idea. It is a good idea, well researched. You present it with qualifiers. I think this might work. Perhaps we could consider. This is just one option, of course. Across the table sits a man with a mediocre idea, but he presents it as gospel. This is what we are going to do. Here is the plan. There is no other option. Whose idea will be followed? His. Every time. His certainty creates a gravitational field. People, even those who know his idea is flawed, are drawn to the comfort of his conviction. People are terrified of uncertainty. They crave a leader who will tell them what to do. The man who projects absolute certainty becomes that leader by default. You must cultivate this. Even when you are not certain, you must project it. This is not about lying. It is about understanding that your internal state of doubt is a liability. You must act in spite of the doubt. You must make a decision and then commit to it with the force of a religious fanatic. If you are wrong, you can always pivot later. But you pivot with the same absolute certainty. You do not apologize. You do not say, I made a mistake. You say, the conditions have changed. This is the new direction. Follow me. Competence gets you a seat at the table. Certainty makes you the head of it. Stop showcasing your doubts as a sign of intellectual honesty. It is not. It is a broadcast of your weakness. From now on, your word is law. Your decisions are final. Project certainty, and you will find that reality has a strange habit of conforming to your will. Law 3. Weakness is a vacuum for predation. You believe that being harmless makes you safe. You think that if you do not threaten anyone, no one will threaten you. You operate on the principle of live and let live. This is the logic of prey, and it is why you are constantly being devoured. In the jungle of human affairs, weakness is not a neutral state. It is a provocation. It is an open invitation for aggression, for exploitation, for disrespect. Your niceness, your conflict avoidance, your desperate need to be liked, these traits do not protect you. They mark you as a target. The predator does not attack the strong lion. The cost is too high. The risk is too great. The predator attacks the isolated gazelle, the wounded wildebeest, the sheep that has strayed from the flock. The predator is an opportunist. He is drawn to the path of least resistance. You are that path. Every time you let a slight pass without consequence, you teach people that they can disrespect you. Every time you do someone's work for them to avoid a confrontation, you teach them that they can exploit you. Every time you silence your own opinion to keep the peace, You teach them that your voice does not matter. You are not keeping the peace. You are funding your own destruction with the currency of your compliance. You are creating a vacuum, and the predatory nature of others will always rush in to fill it. The world does not respect harmless men. The world despises them. It pities them, and then it consumes them. You must become dangerous. This does not mean you must become a bully or cruel or aggressive. A lion is not aggressive. It is simply a lion. Its danger is inherent. It is in its presence, in its potential, in the calm certainty that it can destroy you if it chooses. It does not need to roar to be feared. You must cultivate that same potential. You must learn to say no and have it be heard as a final judgment. You must learn to set boundaries and enforce them with chilling finality. You must let the world know, not through angry words, but through calm, unshakable action, that you are not to be trifled with. That crossing you has a cost, a very high cost. When someone insults you, you do not insult them back. That is the game of children. You give them a look, a cold, dead look of utter disappointment. A look that says, "I see you for the pathetic creature you are, and you are no longer worth my time." Then you turn and walk away. You excommunicate them from your reality. This is true power, the power to withdraw, the power to destroy with indifference. Stop being harmless, start being dangerous. Be a man whose kindness is a choice, not a necessity. Be a man whose peace is a product of his capacity for war. Only then will you be safe. Only then will you be respected. Law 4. Wield virtue as a weapon. The slave morality has taught you that virtues like honesty, loyalty, and fairness are absolute goods, that you must be honest at all times, loyal to all people, fair in all dealings. This is suicidal. These are not virtues, they are tools, and like any tool, they can be used to build or to demolish. The master understands this. The slave does not. The slave is blindly honest. He tells the truth even when it harms him, believing his moral purity will be rewarded. He reveals his weaknesses, his strategies, his doubts, all in the name of transparency. He is a fool. He is giving his enemies the ammunition to destroy him. The master is strategically honest. He understands that honesty is a powerful tool for building trust and inspiring loyalty. He uses it. But he also understands that deception is a necessary weapon in a world full of deceivers. He is honest with those who have earned it. To his enemies, he offers nothing but misdirection and confusion. To be honest with a serpent is to invite it to strike. The slave is blindly loyal. He gives his loyalty to institutions, to companies, to people who have not earned it and do not deserve it. He stays at a job that exploits him out of a misplaced sense of duty. He stays in a friendship that drains him because of history. His loyalty is a chain that he fastens to his own ankle. The master understands that loyalty is a contract. It is an exchange of value. He is fiercely, unshakably loyal to those who are loyal to him, to his inner circle, to his tribe. His loyalty is a fortress that protects his own. But the moment that loyalty is betrayed, the contract is void. He withdraws it completely and without sentiment. He does not give second chances to traitors. The slave is blindly fair. He tries to treat everyone equally. He believes in giving everyone a fair shot. He applies the same rules to the predator and the prey, to the ally and the enemy. The master is strategically fair. He is fair to those within his kingdom because fairness creates stability and order. But he knows that in the war outside his walls, the concept of fairness is a joke. There is no fairness in the struggle for power. There is only victory and defeat. To be fair to your enemy is to hand him your sword. Stop seeing these qualities as moral imperatives. Start seeing them as weapons in your arsenal. Is this the time for honesty or for silence? Has this person earned your loyalty, or are they a liability? Does this situation call for fairness, or for a decisive, unfair advantage? The man who wields virtue strategically is unpredictable. He cannot be manipulated by appeals to his good nature. He is a ghost to his enemies. He is a king to his friends. You must become this man. Your goodness must become a choice, a gift you bestow upon the worthy, not a compulsion you offer to the undeserving. Law 5. Control is the only reality. You spend so much of your life chasing ghosts. You want to be liked. You want to be understood. You want to be seen as right. These are illusions. They are phantoms that distract you from the only thing that actually matters: control. The ultimate goal is not happiness. Happiness is a fleeting chemical reaction. The ultimate goal is not to be right. Right is a subjective concept that changes with power. The ultimate goal is control. First, control over yourself. This is the foundation. You must achieve absolute mastery over your emotions. Your emotions are your greatest vulnerability. Anger, fear, jealousy, love. The slave is a puppet pulled by these strings. When someone insults you, your anger makes you react predictably. You have been played. When you fear loss, you become conservative and easy to manipulate. You have been played. The master feels these emotions, but he is not ruled by them. He observes them as one might observe clouds in the sky. They are data, not directives. He learns to detach, to act not from a place of emotional reaction, but from a place of cold, strategic calculation. This makes him terrifyingly effective. An opponent you cannot anger, you cannot frighten, you cannot provoke, is an opponent you cannot defeat. You must become unreachable. Second, you must learn to control the frame of every interaction. As we discussed, the one who controls the frame controls the outcome. Most people are sleepwalking through life, unconsciously accepting the frames presented to them. You must become a student of frames. When someone asks you a loaded question, you do not answer it. You challenge the premise of the question itself. When someone tries to put you on the defensive, you reframe their attack as a sign of their own weakness. When someone tries to make you feel guilty, you reframe their appeal as a pathetic attempt at manipulation. You must become the one who is always defining reality, never the one who is reacting to it. The world is a battle of competing narratives. The winning narrative is not the most truthful one. It is the one backed by the most power and the most unshakable frame. Your life, right now, is being dictated by the frames of others. It is time to shatter them and install your own. The goal is not to be liked. The desire to be liked is the most pathetic of all slave impulses. It makes you weak, compromising, and desperate. The master does not care if he is liked. He cares if he is effective. He cares if he is in control. Respect, and even a strange form of admiration, will follow control. But liking is irrelevant. Forget being right. Forget being liked. Forget being understood. Pursue one thing and one thing only: control. Control of self. Control of the frame. From this, all other forms of power will flow. This is the path. It is a lonely path. It is a hard path. When you begin to change, the herd will notice. And they will attack you. They will call you cold. They will call you selfish. They will call you arrogant. They will say you've changed. They are not trying to correct you. They are trying to pull you back. A sheep that tries to leave the flock is a threat to every other sheep. It reminds them of their own cowardice. Your transformation is a judgment on their stagnation. Your strength exposes their weakness. So they will use the only weapons they have, the weapons of slave morality, shame, guilt, judgment. This is the final test. If you succumb, if you explain, if you revert to your old ways to regain their approval, you are lost forever. But if you can stand in the fire of their judgment, if you can look upon their outrage with a calm, amused indifference, if you can see their attacks for what they are, the terrified bleating of sheep, then you will have finally broken free. You will have killed the slave inside. Now, for the actionable challenge. Knowledge without action is useless. It is a fantasy. For the next 7 days, you will practice Law 1, the law of no explanation. For 7 days, you will not justify, defend, or explain any of your decisions, opinions, or actions to anyone, unless it is a direct subordinate who requires tactical clarification to execute a command. When your friend questions your choice of restaurant, you will not defend it. You will say, "This is where we are going." When your partner questions why you are suddenly quiet, you will not launch into a long explanation of your new philosophy. You will say, "I am thinking." When your boss questions a decision you made, you will not grovel and present a 30-page report. You will say, "I analyzed the variables and made the optimal call. I am confident in the outcome." This will feel incredibly uncomfortable. Your every instinct will scream at you to smooth things over, to explain, to seek consensus. You must resist this instinct. You must starve the slave. Watch what happens. Observe people's reactions. Some will be confused, some will be angered. They are reacting to a shift in the power dynamic. They feel the ground moving beneath their feet. They sense that you are no longer playing by their rules. But others, the ones who matter, the ones who understand power on an intuitive level, will look at you differently. You will see a flicker of a new kind of respect in their eyes. They will begin to treat you with more caution. They will stop seeing you as a utility and start seeing you as a force. Most importantly, feel what happens inside you. With each explanation you refuse to give, you reclaim a piece of your sovereignty. You plug a hole through which your power has been leaking for years. You will feel your spine straighten. You will feel a cold, clean fire of certainty begin to burn, where there was once only the anxious fog of self-doubt. This is the first step to rewiring your mind. This is the first taste of freedom. You have spent your entire life as the camel, the beast of burden, kneeling to have the weight of others' expectations, traditions, and moralities loaded onto your back. You carried it dutifully into the desert, believing this burden was your purpose. But in the loneliest desert, the camel transforms into the lion who says, "I will," the lion who fights the great dragon named "Thou shalt." On every scale of this dragon is a value 1,000 years old, and the dragon declares, "All value has already been created." The lion fights this dragon for the freedom to create its own values, for the right to be its own god. But even the lion's victory is not the end, for the lion, the destroyer, must become the child. The child is innocence and a forgetting, a new beginning, a game, a self-propelled wheel, a first movement, a sacred yes. The child does not react against the old values like the lion. He is so free he creates his own without reference to the past. He says yes to life, to his will, to his reality, on his own terms. This is your final destination. You are not the man who carries. You are not the man who fights. You are the man who creates. You are no longer the piece on the board, moved by invisible hands. You are the hand. You are the player. You are the one who sees the whole game. The fear you feel is the thrill of altitude. You are climbing out of the swamp of the herd and breathing the thin, cold, clean air of the peaks for the first time. The loneliness you will feel is the loneliness of the king. It is the price of sovereignty. They will not understand you. They are not meant to. You are no longer speaking their language. You are speaking the language of power, of will, of reality itself. Let them whisper. Let them judge. Their words are the sound of the wind in the valley below. You are on the mountain now. You have become unreachable. You have become unforgettable. You have become yourself.